Psaki announces the goal of the Disinformation Board is to stop disinformation from traveling around the country. To me, let's listen to this, though. Let's just get into it.
She had previously called the Hunter Biden laptop a Trump campaign product, seeming to discredit its validity or validity of reporting surrounding that. How can you assuage concerns of people who are looking at this person who's been appointed to this position and wondering if she's going to be able to accurately judge misinformation now that a lot of that reporting has been proven to be factual in some ways?
Well, I don't have any comments on the laptop, but what I can tell you is that it sounds like the objective of the board is to prevent disinformation and misinformation from traveling around the country in a range of communities. I'm not sure who opposes that effort.
She had previously called the Hunter Biden.
Me, I oppose that effort. I oppose. The government should not regulate speech. Now in chat, we do talk about private companies being able to regulate speech based on, that specific company. Right now, as it stands, sure, idealistically, that can be a thing. You as an individual can regulate your own speech. That is the number one thing. Once again, we go back into kind of the ideas of stoicism. You can't basically change the world, but you can change how you react to the world. So at the very least, you do have the God-given right or nature-given right or whatever deity or ideology you would like to, espouse to, you do have that right to regulate your own speech. Okay? You always have that right. All right? You always have that right. That is you. It is nobody else. So let's be clear on that. Now, I do oppose the government regulating speech, even if they want to put it under the guise of disinformation. Because at that point, who is determining what is and what is not disinformation? Let's read this article and respond to it from the New York Post, going into more detail. Biden blasted for policing free speech with dystopian disinformation bureau. Oh, big brother. President Biden came under fire Thursday for the creation of a dystopian disinformation bureau created under its Homeland Security Department, which critics are blasting as just a way for the government to police free speech online. Conservatives slammed the Department of Homeland Security's Orwellian new disinformation governance board, with some suggesting the timing is convenient given Elon Musk vowed to make Twitter a free speech haven after his $44 billion takeover of the social media platform, notorious for selectively censoring right-leaning points of view. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley called the new board a disgrace that was designed to monitor all American speech. In a letter to Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas and Hawley said he initially thought Wednesday's announcement was satire. Surely, no American administration would ever use the power of the government to sit in judgment on the First Amendment speech of its own citizens. Sadly, I was mistaken, Hawley wrote. Quote, rather than protecting our border or the American homeland, you have chosen to make policing American speech your priority, end quote. Florida Republican congressional candidate Dr. Willie Montague tweeted, quote, is there anything more dystopian than a disinformation governance board run by the federal government? And Texas GOP Congressman Troy Nehls griped, quote, they didn't need a disinformation governance board until Elon Musk threatened their control over the narrative. There must have been tinfoil hat, and maybe this channel gets taken down at this point. Tinfoil hat, be clear, we don't have any proof of this. But maybe the federal government did have some sort of specific ways to regulate speech on Twitter. And that is what's getting removed from the code now. That is what is happening in behind the scenes. That's why they need more time. That's what is going on here. And they also need more time to figure out how they're going to regulate the speech. Tinfoil hat. But dear Lord, Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert accused Democrats of spending, quote, the last weeks planting the seeds for the backup plan in case the Twitter deal actually happened, end quote. She too called the news dystopian and said the left can't afford to let the truth be anything but what they say. The hashtag Ministry of Truth was also trending on Twitter as critics compared the new board to George Orwell's 1984 novel. Quote, Adolf Hitler had a Ministry of Truth. Joseph Goebbels had a Ministry of Truth. Joseph Stalin had a Ministry of Truth. Joseph Biden has a Ministry of Truth, tweeted Errol Weber, GOP congressional candidate in California. Georgia Representative Andrew Clyde added, quote, Biden's dystopian disinformation governance board is seriously dangerous and wholly unconstitutional. I'm demanding Congress investigate DHS Ministry of Truth now. The newly formed panel will target supposed misinformation aimed at key points of vulnerability for Biden and Democrats, such as southern border migrants, as well as monitor and prepare for Russian disinformation threats as this year's midterm elections near, the DHS said. Quote, the spread of disinformation can affect border security, American safety during disasters, and public trust in our democratic institutions, the department said in a statement. DHS said that the board will, quote, protect privacy, civil rights, and civil liberties, end quote, as part of its duties. No, you won't. No, you won't. We know you won't. This is extremely frustrating. I'm going to take us all the way back, though. The only way out of this is self-governance. The only way out of this is to complete the transformation to the digital age, specifically utilizing blockchain to allow the public to have a better way out. It's the only way that we get out of this at this point that I can see. There will be minor steps that will be taken by influential people like Musk. There will be that sort of thing that happens for quite some time. But this is not okay at the end of the day. And the thing is we could get into it politically. I am completely disappointed that there is not one single Democrat that I have seen against this. Where are you guys at? Where are you at? Come out against it. Aren't you the party of free speech? I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.